Hi, welcome back to the channel. So the moment that maybe a dozen of you have been waiting for has finally arrived. As of a few minutes ago, I have released the latest version of the NaNoWriMo basic template for Scrivener. This is the 2024 edition. Admittedly, not as complete as I had hoped it would be. So some of my plans for 2024 will be pushed off to 2025, but that's okay because I think the most critical ones are in the new version. And if you are not familiar with this template, stick around. I will show you in detail. But if you are familiar and you want to just get to it, the download is in the description below. Have fun. Tell me what you think. For those of you who aren't sure yet and you want to go ahead and see what's new in here, let me show you. I'm not going to show you everything that the template has to offer because I have other videos that does that. I would suggest just go through at least back to 2021. To see what some of the latest updates are. I did one for every year. But for this year, I'm going to cover what I've added, and then I'll just go back and remind you guys how to use this if you forgot. So hope that will work for you. So anyway, let me start with well, I always like to have split screen so you guys can see what's going on. Actually, the first thing I did is I color-coded the tagging. It's actually the last thing I did on my to-do list for this year, and it's done. So hopefully y'all can read the yellows. But anyway, that's kind of small. I want to actually show you the big one. So if we scroll down, you remember that originally we drafted the novel by day section, which is over here. And the way it works is if you, I'm going to click over here. You click on, let's say, the first day, you'll type your story. And you'll notice that over here in the project window, I think here's my daily statistics, it counts 3. You know, never mind, you have all this crap here. You got all this stuff here. You've got 3 words. If I type in a 4, let's go to day 3 real quick. Here is my 4th or 10th. And I do it again. You'll see it counted. We're up to 9 now. So if you want to set a target, you do so through the target thing here. And you can just, again, you can track your progress for the day. And again, all the videos will show you how to do all that. I have a default for the 1,667 words per day because that comes out to 50,000 for the month if you're doing this in November. But you can customize that to however you want. But obviously, I don't want to put anything on day 3 since day 3 isn't started yet. So this is the way it's always worked, and those of you who have used this draft in the past, or this template in the past, you'll know that this is essentially where you do all your writing, and it's pretty cool. But one thing that's bothered me for the last couple of years is sometimes, you know, I will start a story in the morning, and then I'll go to work, and then I'll come back and write some more. And you know, if I wanted to update the NaNoWriMo website, I have to do that pretty much at the end, or I have to go through and manually count everything, and it's kind of a pain. So the new version of this document has something called session by day. Now, bear in mind, both novel by day and session by day are available. My advice to you is pick one. Don't do both, especially not on the same day, and you'll see why in a minute. But if you want to do this by session, you'll see if I go over here into the folder, you can start the day writing with session 1 document, record your start and stop times, blah, blah, blah. And then you can write your text here in the session. Here is my starting text. And then guess what? I can do another session. We'll call this session 2. Okay, enter. Here is my follow-up text. And if I do my count, it's counting it. I have 14. And what's nice about this is if I want to just do a session count, I have it down here in the bottom. So I can go to NaNoWriMo, and you know, if I go in the morning, I can put in my 5 words before I go to work, and then later that night I can put in my 6 words, and then I have 11 for the day. So it's pretty cool, I think. But I'm going to go ahead and undo that because I don't want to ruin the template just yet. So anyway. So right there. All right, and then I don't know if I probably have to delete that separately. It doesn't matter. I can do it on my own time. So the next thing that you guys want to look at, if that's not cool enough, is in the old version, I had these things called tracking elements. Let me go over here real quick. And so in the tracking elements, you have a section where you can write the year, the month that you're starting, if you're doing regular, or if you're doing camp, you can do April or July. And of course, you have all your day entries. You just write down the synopsis of what you accomplished, how you're feeling about it, blah, blah, blah. The current state is, whether or not you're happy with it or sad, and so forth. Pretty straightforward, but also very clutterable. Now, for those of you who are like me and where you just want to get to the point and move on, this is still fine. But you'll notice up here, I have a new thing called a dedicated daily journal. If you need something more in depth or something that considers your session counts, then you may want to go over to this thing called the, the dedicated daily journal. So if I scroll down this way, I have the dedicated daily journal. Here's the folder, and here's the journal entry. So I have it, you'll notice that right now I just have day one. The reason for that is because you may decide that you don't necessarily want to record a session every day, especially if you don't write every day. So I'm giving you the ability to just clone the document, and you can, for whatever day you're on, and then you can fill it in accordingly. Probably the smartest move that I would say is, if you don't want to waste your time, I would maybe clone before you type. And just have in fact, I probably should have done that in the template now that I'm doing this in retrospect. But that's okay. There's something I think about, too late. But you can still do it. Just if you wanted to right click on day and duplicate the document, you might do like a day template or something. And that way, anytime you have a new draft, you'll just duplicate it again. And then you can use that particular day to fill in your information. And right now you'll see that we have the day number, the particular date of the year, and then how many sessions did you do, ideally up to 2 hours. And then you can see what your word counts are by session and the total for the day. And then if you want to do a start time and end time and just whatever else you want to record, this gives you more to work with. And you'll see that I gave you two versions. One is with bullets, the other is with bold. So I don't know how you want to keep track of this. So I'm giving you the option to make your choice. Whichever one you don't use, just delete it so you're not giving yourself more to look at than you need. That's essentially it. Again, straightforward, but less cluttered. You can now chronicle your journals by documents if you wish. Okay, and then the other big one that I did, this is probably the marquee feature of the update, is the advanced story planning folder. So this, you have two folders. You have the character location object sheets, and then you have the plotting planner. So if we go into the character locations and plotting sheets, you'll see we have new sheet designs for characters, locations, and objects. And if we go into the main character sheet here, you'll see I have one for main character, protagonist, antagonist, and then additional characters if you need it. Locations, I got primary, secondary, and then other locations. And then for the objects, we have MacGuffin and other objects. And the way it works is you give your bio for your characters, your location information for your locations, and your object information for your objects. Assuming I can click it. Okay. And it's pretty in-depth. But what's really interesting about this particular sheet is that you can also list anything that you know about your character ahead of time, and then anything you discover in the writing. And then you can write down ways in which they may change or transform throughout the story. And all all the characters, the locations, and the objects have these features. So do make sure you look through the sheets to see if this works for your situation. Anything you don't need, just delete as usual. Keep it organized. But I wouldn't delete it. I wouldn't delete the template. Have the template there. Just copy it and then you add to the template. So that would be my suggestion. And this is going to be my suggestion for all the things that have templates, is don't overwrite the templates, just copy them, and then from there you can create new versions of it, like I did over here. So, and I may have, again, I've already released the 2024 edition. If I think about it, I will, for the 2025, make this a default, so you guys will have it ready to go for the future. The last thing I want to show you is the conflict or the plotting planner, which includes just one thing right now. This is the conflict tracker. I may add a different tracker to it in the future for maybe more specific type of plotting, maybe like Save the Cat or something like that. But for now, what we have is a conflict, because I feel like this is the most important thing for story tracking. And actually, I just noticed the formatting is weird. Yeah, okay. All right, something else I'll probably fix with the feature. For now, I just wanted to get this done because I was running out of time. So I'll make this look nicer in the 2025 edition. But anyway, the way this is set up right now is you can decide what your story goal is for your protagonist, what it is for your antagonist, and then any secondary goal or B-plot goal, you can write that there. And then if for any reason your protagonist fails, you can give them a new goal. You would often see this, like if your story goal is in the first act. If you've ever seen an episode of The Simpsons, you'll see that the first 10 minutes is about one story, but it transforms into another. If you have a situation like that, you can tell us what that new goal is down here. If you've ever watched 24, it's like that too. It's first 8 hours is about, chasing one villain, but as the story goes on, you find there's a new villain. So if you have anything like that, you can set that into the new goal. And then in here, you have the section for whether or not your character obtains the goals that you set out. And I did give you an option for We'll See if you want to explore on your own, if you don't want to necessarily know ahead of the story. The antagonist also has a section, and the purpose here is for you to see whether or not your antagonist is a fair match to your protagonist and vice versa. And then the ideologies is just because, Batman and Joker, they have different methods for achieving their goals. They're both in opposition of each other. Maybe they want the same thing, just have a different plan. I think a better example, though, would be Xavier versus Magneto. If you're familiar with the X-Men comics or movies, they both want peace among humans and mutants. The difference is Charles Xavier wants to integrate with the humans, whereas Magneto wants to rule over them. So anyway, you can see where there's opposition, heads clash. This gives you an opportunity to figure out what that is. And then what I find, in my opinion, is I think the marquee item of the entire update is the conflict chart. And what the conflict chart does is it helps you figure out that notorious second act. I think we all know the second act. Once we get there, it's like, oh no, this is like the slog. This is like going through mud, because it's just like, everything and nothing happens at the same time. It's like all your cool stuff happens in the beginning and the end. In the middle, it's just like, I got to get through it. Well, I'm trying to make it easier on us by having what's called the conflict level planner. And the idea is you're turning it into a video game. You are thinking of your story as a series of levels that your character has to overcome. Kind of like Mega Man, has to overcome each of the robot bosses by using his newfound skills in order to overcome it. So you want to think of the next section of your story as a level, and each one hopefully is more intense than the one before it. And then you have to identify what the conflict is for that level or the situation, what the obstacles are that, get in the way of your hero, who the boss is. Is it a henchman or the main guy or some, environmental issue? What is it? What's the battle look like and how does it resolve? And then does your character win or lose? And I would even go so far to say, does he win but with a mess? Does he win with scratches? So I've given you 3 basics and then 1 for the final. You can add more if you need it. If you have an epic, 800-page novel, you may need more than 3 levels. You might need 10. So you can add them as you need. Again, the name of the game is, it's a template, copy and paste as needed, and then fill in as you go. So I'm just trying to make it easy for you, but I don't want to tell you how to think. You guys decide what you need. I know this template is getting a little bloated. This is why at some point I am considering doing a split version of it. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I just wanted you guys to see that you have these new options available to you, and hopefully you'll use it. So this, of course, what does this all replace? So if I go back to the quick and dirty story reminders, this is where you had the original planner with your story, genre, all that. This is all still here for just quick thinking. I would still encourage you guys to use this section, but I've given you this new planner down here in case you need more content for your characters. Okay. And then we've already looked at the journal. That's basically the updates for 2024. I want to remind you guys that if you do use this template, do not fill it in. What I would do is I would go into File and then Save As, and then call it something like NaNoWriMo 2024. So as you can see what I have up here for 2023. Actually, if I do like this, you'll see that I can just go into, I can type it and hopefully it'll give me something useful, but I would just normally do it like this. And then I would save it, and that will give me my new document. And then I would just work out of that. If I wanted to put my title after the fact, then I would also do that as well. But the reason why I would do it this way is if you ever want to reuse the template, you're not going to ruin it by filling it in and then having a messy thing for 2025. So that said, you can do what I would recommend, which is next year use the 2025 edition. It will come with new stuff. And I'm actually going to give you a preview of what that will be because, like I said in the beginning, I had intended on having a lot more in the 2024 edition, but I ran out of time. So therefore, most of what I wanted for 2024 is going to get pushed into 2025. So I want to give you a quick overview of what that will likely be. So if you watched a video that I released about a week or two ago that was announcing the coming version of the new template, you'll remember that I had shown you my roadmap for my plans for the template coming in the future. If you missed it, well, here it is now. I want to show you real quick what this is. And by the way, there will be a link for you when you get to the template with the link I give you for the template. There will be a link to this roadmap inside that description. So make sure you look for it if you want to contribute to ideas for future versions. But over here, you'll see what I have released already. Over here in this column, you'll see much of what we did in the last couple of years is on this column. And over here in the in progress, I have the tell me what you want. This is really a couple of things. You can either vote on it. What the voting on is just make sure you tell me you even like the thing. But the other thing is to remind you that there is a section for giving me ideas. So you will want to go to the ideas board. I'm giving you the back end right now. This is not the version you're going to see. So yours, your ideas will be listed up here. Mine is actually over here. But I'll still show you that in a second. Over here in the up next and future, you can see what I've been thinking about doing. So I was hoping to get to the accountability calendar for 2024, but I admit that it's a little overwhelming what the plan is for it. So I'm actually gonna have to think my way through how to make it work. So that will be a 2025 edition at the earliest, maybe later if I can't crack it in a way that makes sense. But the general idea is I was going to give you a way to track your weekly plans and your monthly plans for NaNoWriMo so you can stay accountable to your work. If I go into the card here, we'll see some of the features that I had ideas for, common schedule, special day schedule, by the hour, contingencies, and writing calendar. So 5 pieces to this particular section that is going to probably take a little bit more than just a couple hours to dash together. So I do need to think it through how to do it. So again, I didn't have a lot of time this year to work on this. So I will be making this my goal for 2025. But if you find that you have a difficult time getting to the writing, I hope that this particular feature will help it make it easier for you guys. Hashtag bank. This one I probably could have put in the 2024. I don't think it's going to be that difficult to do. But again, I want to think it through before I really commit to anything. But the idea is just, give you a place to keep your hashtags. What I wanted to do is give you a list of hashtags you can use, which is why I didn't release it, today. But I may rethink that. I may just have you guys figure out what you want. I don't know yet. But let me know in the comments what you want, or let me know here on the roadmap what you want. Another big one is the email subscriber engagement campaign. I'll be honest, I don't know how necessary this is for NaNoWriMo, because I don't know what kind of audiences you have or what type of engagement you want to do during your writing. But I figured it'd be nice to have a place for you to plan your emails for your audiences in case you do want to engage them in your NaNoWriMo progress. So I have some ideas that I want to try. But again, this is one of those things where I think I needed just a little bit more time than I did to put it together in a way that's meaningful. So I will likely put this into the 2025 edition. And I don't know that I'm going to be waiting until next October to do it. I will probably do this going into April this year. Because honestly, I don't think it needs to wait until November to give you a new version when we have 2 Camp NaNoWriMos each year. So more than likely 2025's edition will come out probably March or April if I'm not overwhelmed with stuff. Y'all make sure you remind me that I said that. Okay. Then the useful resource list, another one where I want to take my time to make sure I give you something good. But this is something where if you are looking for supplemental tools to help you plan your stories, this is something where I wanted to give you ideas of what I can use or what I might be using and to help me. If you watch my channel long enough, you'll know that I've recommended various AI tools. I don't think I've ever done a video on Leonardo. I did do one. No, I didn't really do one on any of these, did I? This Notebook LM is one I actually was planning on doing like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I did publish a blog on it recently. You go to my website, you can read about it. I will probably do a video on this soon, but likely by now you probably heard of it. So I don't know that I need to. But anyway, these are tools that I think are useful for getting your ideas together. Or if you want some quick art for your characters, Leonardo is perfect for that. Inspirational music, that's what Suno and Udio are good for. Notion would be like your outliner and so forth. So I do want to give you a list of references that I recommend or resources. I was, again, hoping to have that this week, but it's going to take a little more thinking and planning. So that will probably be in the 2025 version. And by then, maybe we'll have some better sources. So maybe it's good that I waited. Useful AI prompts. I don't really know what I want to do with this yet. So I can't promise this will be out even in 2025. I still think NaNoWriMo should be based off of our own writing. I don't think we need to be using AI for help with that. I think it kind of defeats the purpose. But I do think that maybe, we can still get our ideas through various AI prompts. So if we're struggling with nuance, we might be able to get some assistance that way. So I still may try to do this, but I'm not going to promise this one yet for 2025, but maybe for 2025. It's in the future. Serial fiction engagement tools. So this is actually a bit bittersweet because as you probably have seen, I just released last night the video news that states that Kindle Vella is closing their doors in February. So those of you who are using Kindle Vella, you won't be able to use the fiction tools, unfortunately, for that. But you can still use it for Wattpad, so I will likely still do this. But yeah, if you are writing for serial fiction for Wattpad or any other platform that didn't go under because of bad marketing, this I hope to have a section for you guys in 2025. And then the template series, I think I talked about this in my last video. It's not really a basic template anymore, even though it's still called that. I think it's, we got to a point where we're moving into advanced and professional template. So I'm either going to call it just the template and eliminate all brands and you can continue to use the version that I've got, or if you are a hobbyist and you want the simple draft, I'm going to likely give you a more basic original type template and then kind of escalate that through all the way up to professional, where you have like your social media and your email and all that. It's all still going to be free. Don't let the professional make you think I'm going to start charging for this. I'm not. I have no interest in charging for any of it, but it's going to be more like just to kind of help you decide which version is right for you so that you're not cluttered with a bunch of crap you don't want. That's essentially the purpose for going to 3 layers. So I'm going to hopefully do that in 2025. And then for the ideas section, most of this is already on the map. You can see that I've put on everything that's in production is actually released now. So I can probably click that to released. So it's released. And so forth. I'll fix that on my own time. What I don't have on the roadmap, so I got to think it through, is the document clone, these compatibilities, and the one that's perpetual is the linked AI generated ideas. I think that one I can't do unless Scrivener does something special with their platform. And it doesn't look like they've done anything at all for over a year. If you go to Literature and Latte, they have not worked on this at all, or at least given any updates in over a year. So I'm not even sure what the status of Scrivener is in the future anyway. But yeah, these are some of the ideas that I've come up with. I would love to hear your ideas. If you can think of something you want that's possible, please leave your ideas. Again, you'll get there through a different link and your front end will look a little different than mine, but it's easy to navigate. The only thing it's going to ask of you is if you leave an idea, it's going to ask for your email. It's not going to try to market you. It just wants to make sure that if you need follow-up, it knows how to find you. And if you are voting, it's so you don't, fraudulently double vote is why it has all that. So, but they're not interested in finding you online and marketing their software to you or anything like that. Just so you know. Anyway, all right, so let me show you real quick how to find this. So the link that's in the description is going to take you to this page. This is on my Drinking Cafe Latte at 1 p.m. website. It's my original WordPress. I really only use for this, honestly. Most of my blogs are going to be on my author website now over at jeremybertsey.com. But if you still want old templates, these are going to be live on this site for at least this year. I am going to try to make everything more official on my author site in the coming year because my my web design provider is getting a new update soon that hopefully will be a lot easier to use and less sluggish. So I will hopefully update my website in the coming year, although I've been wanting to do that for the last 2 years. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, right now it's going to take you to the old Cafe Latte or Drinking Cafe Latte at 1 p.m. site. And you'll see the update is here at where it says October 29th, 2024. Just a quick overview. All the links take you to the same place. It's going to take you to my resource library. The roadmap is going to take you to what I just showed you. So let me go ahead and show you the resource library. When you click this link here, what you will see is the following. So it'll take you to my story tools and templates section on Beacon. And you'll see that all my resources are here. You got all older versions. You got my story planning general alpha 2, which I admit I've been majorly neglecting. It should have been alpha 3 or 4 by now, but it's a huge document. And then I got my Kindle Vella trackers, which unfortunately are now obsolete. So if you want to see it for prestige, feel free to download it. Or if you want to use it for another serial fiction resource, feel free to use it for that. For Vella, it's kind of useless now. So, and then I got my AI art, which is way outdated. Don't even waste your time. But these up here are still available for you. Actually, all of it's available for you because nothing ever comes down. But the new one you want here is the 2024 edition. When you click it, it's going to take you to the download page and just get resource and it'll download for you. So there you go. That's the NaNoWriMo basic template for 2024. And again, if you need to see how some of the other features work, I would honestly check out my older videos. If you have a little extra time to sit through my rambling. You'll get more of an idea how to use it, but honestly, I don't think you need to watch every video because I try to make it self-explanatory in the document. Just read the directions. And remember, the rule of thumb is don't overwrite anything. Save as a new draft. Call it NaNoWriMo 2024 or give it a name of your title of your book. And then if you need to make copies of your documents, do so before you add content to them. That's basically it. I mean, again, you guys can modify this however you want. I just made it easy for you guys to get started on NaNoWriMo this year. Whatever you wish to do with the template is up to you. I don't care. If you want to add new features, you could do so. Be my guest. I just want to make sure that you guys get a good use out of this. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments below. And please give me your feature request and the roadmap if you want to see anything that's not already listed. So that's about it. Another long video. I know some of you hate that, but if you're still watching, then you clearly are okay with it. If not, I'll have shorter videos in the future for less important things. But yeah, that's everything. Hope you enjoy it, and good luck on NaNoWriMo this year if you participate. If you don't participate, that's fine. I know that they've been controversial lately. I don't care about any of that. My job is to write. I'm not there to get political. I'm there to write a story. So I'm going to be participating, and I will be doing my, I have my original novel I did about 20 years ago. The one that my first official complete chapter novel I did back in 2005. I kind of stalled out on because I didn't think the plot worked. So I had to go back and figure out how to get the plot to work. But I finished the first draft, and I thought the story was pretty awesome. I liked the character, I liked everything about it. I just didn't like the fact that it wasn't believable. So I've been kind of hinging on that for a long, long time. But this year, I wanted to make that original book a series, and this year I've decided is going to be the year that I write the first part of that series. So the book that I wrote in '05 is actually the third in the series. It was just I had to get the idea on paper. But I am going to revisit that series, and I will eventually talk about it somehow. I don't know when or how, because I don't know. I think people don't seem to like it when I talk about my own stories on this channel. It's weird to me, but that is what it is. But if you go into my, if you subscribe to my mailing list, I will be discussing it more. So if you are not on my mailing list, you should get on my mailing list, because I have a lot of stuff that I talk about there that I don't bring up on YouTube or my my author blog. So check it out if you're interested. There's links down below in the comments. So, all right, I was giving you enough to think about and work with. So good luck, and I'll see you for the next video. Thanks. Bye.